What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title called Infection Free Zone. We covered this about 4 or 5 months ago. This was a game that is set in the zombie apocalypse, but the interesting thing about it is that it's like 911 Operator or 112 Operator. So it takes place on actual real maps of the real world that have been downloaded from like Google Maps and other places. So this game offers you the rare opportunity to play a RimWorld style game of zombie apocalypse base building survival, but in your hometown or in Florence or in Moscow. Wherever you want to play as, you can create your own sort of zombie apocalypse survival situation. I think that's a very, very appealing idea. So normally I try to space out my coverage of games by like 6 to 9 months, but the developers fired on over a new build of the game that does incorporate that new satellite data play anywhere you want aspect of the game. The last time we played around, you couldn't do that. It was just kind of like a demo on one map. This time around, we can play anywhere in the world, and I think that we should do that. So let's dive on in. If after watching this video, you wanted to check the game on out, it's not out yet. It's scheduled for a release in the third quarter of 2023. But anyways, you can wishlist it, and you can take a look at the page, and then they do play tests every now and again here and there. So as you can see, this is the map we played on the last time. This is the default map. I've also checked out San Francisco and Santa Rosa. Let's do San Francisco. Why not? I've actually already got the area selected too. Yay! Look at all the bridges. Look at all the islands. Treasure Island. Yay! The Bay Area Regional Transit System. Yay! Okay, let's see here. We can choose where we want to play at. I want to take a look around the map and find a good spot. I kind of feel like... Oh, I don't know. I do like the idea of being in a touristy area, like down along the pier. That might be kind of rad. Might be sort of enjoyable. Just a quick hop off the 80 and, a little right over here, and then you're good to go. However, if you look at the density, there's not a lot of space for trees and things of that nature. And since this game requires that you chop down trees and whatnot in order to build your base, we may want to get a little bit further on down the coast, possibly, over here. But it's kind of hard to guesstimate. So I don't know, dude. Like, we can mess around in Telegraph Hill over here. We can mess around in the Presidio over here. Like, this is Golden Gate Park over here. Like, I need to have trees, though. That's one thing that I know, is that we don't have trees, we're going to have a really, really bad time. So I'm kind of leaning towards the park or the Presidio. Although this little area over here with, like, the Transamerica building and whatnot would be really cool, too. But I don't think the Transamerica building actually shows up on the map when you're in here. That would be extra modeling stuff that needs to get done. Let's play around with the idea of being sort of, like, over here, along the south end of the Presidio, maybe, or the north end of the park. We'll go right here. That sounds all right to me. Let's try this out.
What we called the mad virus appeared out of nowhere. It made people turn extremely violent, aggressive, and unrestrainable. Soon later, the infected became bloodthirsty, more like vampires than human. There was chaos, panic, and war for survival. Desperate people were just as dangerous as the virus itself. Even our loved ones could become a threat. The infection spread quickly throughout the entire globe. Every region, every country, every city. Drastic measures were taken to get rid of the infected, but they all failed. The last chance for those who seemed immune was to hide in underground shelters, ones that we improvised in garages and basements, loaded with food, water, and air filtration systems. These were the places where we survived, sealed from the outside. For so long, we waited for any signal, any info that a cure had been found, or the situation stabilized. Instead, we listened as the world grew quiet. Our resources were becoming depleted. Life support systems were failing. And just as we were losing all hope, we received a distant call.
To all survivors, the infection is in decline. Seek others and rebuild.
This was the impulse we needed. There were others out there. We could come back to the surface. No more hiding. From the ruins of the old world, we will build our new home.
We will build our new home and it will become the strong. Oh yeah, this will work out nicely. I mean, assuming we can get food. So the first thing we have to do is we need to build a base. And we've got to pick a building to effectively be our center of operations. We can zoom out to about right here. As you can see, we obviously have like a little bit of... We have a little bit of fog of war going on. However, sleep diagnostics, just in case you guys are having some apnea going on. All right, I want to find a building that's kind of isolated. It's easy to, like, cordon off from enemies, basically build walls around. But also it needs to be close enough to other buildings that I can scavenge easily. And so I think that this guy is a winner right here. It's only got space for 14 people. That's a little bit unfortunate because we're going to start out with like 50 people. So we are going to have to take some territory. Do we have anything that's got a little bit more density to it that allows us to like have a few more people settled on in? That one gives me 15. That'll give me 31 right there. That's not too bad. We're going to have to expand like really, really, really quickly though. If I take this little building right here or if I take this little outbuilding right here. So like we'll pretty much within the first couple days have to grab a couple of things in the area. There is the argument to be made that we could just grab that big dog right there. This one's already set up with solar panels, so that'd be rad. In a lot of cases, the things that you're going to see represented in this game, don't take them as serious. The game tends to really like these brutalist kind of Russian blockhouses that it places everywhere. It doesn't actually reflect like the character of the city or whatever. It's like a limit of the technology, you know. Let's grab, I guess, this guy right here. We're not going to have enough living space, but it's going to have to be good enough. And so there's our headquarters. This is a scout right here. I'm just going to skip all the dialogue stuff because there's a lot of talking in this game, just like there was a 911 operator. It's got back and forth. The voice acting is reasonably well done. It's not bad at all, but I've heard it a million times. So your civilians in this game are divided up into two separate groups. Basically, you have scavengers and you have civilians. Civilians do things like chop down trees, gather rubble, break down cars, build buildings, that kind of stuff. Scavengers do exactly what it sounds like. They cruise around the map and they scavenge things. So the first thing I'm going to do is make another scavenger over here, and we're just going to start clearing all these buildings for zombies and for loot that are around our base, because in the beginning of the game, we've got to get really aggressive about gathering food. One thing about this game is that, like, the opening X amount of time, if you don't gather like 16 food a day, you're in deep trouble. Like, you're probably gonna starve. I'm gonna send out some workers to go chop down all these trees in the area. There's two purposes there. We need the wood in order to retrofit buildings and to basically convert them into different facilities that our characters can use for like building and workshops and gunsmiths and farming and all that kind of stuff. The other part is I don't like the line of sight being broken. I basically want everything around our home to be a wide open field so that we can see all the way out and the enemy will have like no cover if they try to get to us. That's basically what I'm trying to do right here. Let's continue. You guys, your assignment is to grab these 4 buildings right here and this building. And then you just start working on stuff over here. If I press V, we can also get a resource view. And sometimes it'll tell you what you've got a chance of finding in various buildings. 1 can of food inside of there. Pathfinding in this game is a little bit weird. That is one thing you will find very, very quickly if you end up playing a demo of the game, is that the pathfinding can be a little bit strange and a little bit difficult to wrap your head around sometimes. Your squads, they tend to get stuck on stuff a lot, including each other, and so just babysit them very, very carefully, and when you are giving them sort of orders for what you want them to check out and what you want them to do. Oh, these guys are full. You find something good? What'd you find? Oh, they just filled up. They didn't find like a huge trove or anything. They just found like enough food to fill up their entire inventory and head back for a drop-off. How you guys doing on this wood over here? You guys 20% done? Good. Sounds awesome. This location should have more than enough wood to make our lives nice and easy. I don't really care about that. So basically, they're going to talk about how we need to be gathering resources. Let's go ahead and we'll gather from that building right there very, very quickly and see if we find anything. Oh my god, can we just go 8 seconds without some dialogue here? Thank you. Try to play the game. Appreciate it. A little bit of food in there, but unfortunately they haven't really found anything else. As you can see, people are eating food right now and gorging themselves. There's no way to, like, enact a ration plan or anything. I'm pretty sure it just takes your population, divides it in half, and that's how much food they eat. I would suggest they ease up on that number because in the 3 or 4 hours I've played this build, it has been incredibly difficult to stay on top of food. Like, almost to the point of impossibility. So, like, if you don't get really, really lucky really, really early on and find, like, farming seeds around, I have had difficulty staying in front of the food curve because they eat a lot of food, and they eat every single day without a doubt, as human beings tend to do. You guys are at 30% chopped over there. Good. You found 1 can of food. All right, start hitting these row houses over here. That's the next goal, is to get these row houses knocked out. San Francisco has lots and lots and lots of row houses. San Francisco is also very hilly. This is not showing you exactly. Go ahead and do yourself a favor. Google streets in San Francisco. Many of them are basically vertical. Like, you will go up the street and you will be looking at the clouds while you are driving home to your house, basically. It's a very, very steep, very, very hilly city. Okay, you guys go down to there. You guys go down to there. I'm trying to sweep all this stuff very, very quickly because these are small buildings. The game takes into account, basically, it creates a volume for the building for the height and the surface area. And that's how long it takes you to search. And so, like, big, large, huge buildings will take forever to search. And then smaller buildings are usually pretty fast. So I'd like to clear all these row houses before the nighttime gets here, because the game's divided into 2 phases. During the day, your workers are going out and chopping down trees, and then during the night, you have to huddle up, because these are kind of like I Am Legend zombies. That's the best way I know how to describe them. As you can see, pathfinding can be a little bit weird in this game. They're like I Am Legend zombies. They spend the daytime standing in dank corners of basements, panting heavily and staring at walls, as freaky as possible. Oh, they found some bullets inside that house. Good for you, man. Good for you. I would assume that finding a bullet in San Francisco might actually be a little bit more tricky than it seems. Let's see here. There's signs of smoke coming out of a building. Yeah, so we get an event pretty early on that's going to be like, hey, there's survivors. Go and rescue them. The game's got a storyline that you follow, so while it is a sandbox, you can focus on the kind of storyline objectives, the narrative objectives, if you want to, if you find that attractive, or you can just kind of like play how you want to play. Nighttime is arriving, so what you'll see is all my little workers, they're going to go back inside the HQ, and then tomorrow we'll probably want to look into maybe capturing that building right there. Yeah, maybe we'll try to capture that building right there, and then make it like a living quarters possibly. All right, sun's getting real low, big guy. Just continue scavenging. The first night's basically a gimme from the zombies. They don't really come after you that aggressively. You guys got bullets, but you ain't got much else. I'll send these guys back to guard the HQ, and then these guys can continue knocking out all the row housing over here. And we do have our first batches of infected. The good news is they are on a wide open field right now, and they are not, like, they're not being aggressive at the moment. Because they don't have to be aggressive. It's the first night, so they're kind of programmed to ignore the player on the first night. They may wander into you, sort of on accident, but, like, they're not going to be coming. That's going to change. By night 2 to 3 to 4, we're going to be getting hit by big, big hordes, which is why it's a really good idea to start stockpiling some food. Unfortunately, we're not having much luck along that front. It looks like there might be drinks in there or something. I don't know what it's implying are in there. I'll sort of start working these scavengers in that direction. They found a food inside of there, so that's good. I was hoping we would find more like 4 or 5 foods in locations. Some of the really, really big buildings can actually stack up loot inside of here, and it'll take you a bunch of trips to go back and forth and grab it all. This guy right here, let's go ahead and convert it into a shelter. It's going to take 43 of our wood, so that should actually be a pretty simple conversion. Oh, you guys are full up? Look at you guys out here being go-getters. Nice. I'm going to work my way over to the seed farm over here and possibly to this drink location as well, because I think that's going to unlock farming. In the previous version that we played of this game, you can use buildings as firing zones, basically, as turrets. So, like, it's kind of like Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. You can put your soldiers inside of buildings and they'll skirmish from inside of buildings. I don't know if it still works like that, but it used to work like that. Let's go ahead and work our way down the road over here. See if we find anything. So far, though, we're a little bit low on anything that might be considered useful. Are they turning on that road right there? Okay, good. We're about midway through the night right now. Should be morning fairly soon. And then we'll probably be okay. We may need to knock over this horde right here. So I'm going to give the engage order. Every single member of these squads, they do have ammo. You want to keep an eye on these meters. They need to go back to base, and they need to resupply from the central ammo supply before they'll be able to fire their guns again. Your characters are effectively useless in melee combat, at least in my experience. If your squad gets engaged in melee, they are going to catastrophically die. I haven't really seen anything much to the contrary. You don't want to be in melee with the vampire zombies. They're kind of like the World War Z, let's build a ramp out of our own crushed flesh type of zombies. And they're just better than you at scrapping. That's just the fact of the matter is they're like an evolution of us. So you want to shoot them from a distance if you can really manage it. Is he actually headed towards my base right now? Damn. All right. Hold on. Pull them off of scavenging. These guys are getting too close. You do have to obey line of sight rules. So, for example, I couldn't shoot these guys from where I am right now. Did they just aggro me? I think they did. Hold on. Set up wide. Oh, they went inside the building over there because the sun came up. Mildly upsetting. But we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. That's a 5,000 square foot, 18-meter building, so that's probably going to take a couple days to search. And I haven't had much luck with the really big buildings. My general experience has been with the big buildings that you spend 2 or 3 days searching them and you get nothing for it. That's my general experience. You can also click on the buildings and it'll give you some rough idea from the portrait of what the building is, whether or not it's like a residence, an apartment building, stuff like that. We got another transmission coming on in, too. They're probably loading me up with more work. Yeah, they're just warning me that tomorrow is going to be a lot worse than tonight. It's not actually going to be that bad. It starts to get bad around like day 5 or day 6. That's when you really start to get smashed. But for right now, for the purposes of showing off the game, I don't think we're going to have that issue. Oh, you guys weren't done yet? All right. I don't love that they're inside that building right there. So far, we found 3 food today. Not enough. Gonna need about 16 food, in all honesty. May search this big building back here. I was trying to see if I could find something that had like a supermarket tag on it. Some of these buildings will have like a supermarket thing going on, and they tend to have a little bit more inside of them. But it doesn't look like we have much of that around. We got another can of food right there. Go ahead and search that place. I need to find like a good repository of food. Doesn't look like we really got the seeds or whatever either, but it should have unlocked a new building. So yeah, we can make a cookhouse now, which allows us to make prepared meals and reduces wasted food. We haven't got the ability to build a farm yet, but we have all this grass over here, so I'll probably put my farming area off and over on that side. It looks like they are industriously working on this building over here, although when it's going to be done, I don't particularly know. Oh, they found some bullets. That's good. Eventually, we're going to have to reload, so that's... I'll take it. Bullets are better than nothing. Good. So apparently 32 people live inside of there. Very nice. Okay, I'll take that. We've solved our living situation problem thing. The other thing that we can do is we can make wooden palisades, which I think is actually not a terrible idea. It's going to take us 14 wood to do that, but it will make us a lot safer. I don't really know if we can build gates or anything. Doesn't look like it, but we'll spend some resources over here just so we're being productive. Where were my other scouts at? What were you guys doing? Oh, apparently they found a decent amount of stuff in there. Every now and again, the game will do this weird thing where it subdivides like the amount of stuff you found down to like a decimal point. I don't know what causes it, but it happens from time to time. Incoming transmission. If we want to build anything else, we need more resources. Go chop down some trees. I mean, we'll chop down some trees at some point. I don't think it's important right now. You just keep going house to house. If you find anything, radio it on and let me know. Let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. And looky there, our palisade wall has been erected. Good. We'll try to finish that off a little bit later. For right now, I need to give another gather wood order, I think. Citizens panel, 23 out of 40. Oh, are unemployed. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and you guys can just keep knocking down trees over there. We're going to need a lot more wood where we're going. We got lots and lots of things to take care of. Still haven't really found anything in this neighborhood over here. We're getting into the thick and density of it, but unfortunately... Oh, well, they found bullets inside of that one. Nice. Okay, so they'll run that stuff back to base. Things I would like to see from this game, I would like to see an auto-explorer for your scouts. So basically, they just go building to building, and then as their inventory fills up, they drop things off, and they pick up back where they left off effectively with the closest building after they do a drop-off. Sometimes they do that behavior a little bit. Like when their inventory's full, they definitely autopilot their way back to base. But not always. We've got enough food for tomorrow, but not enough food for after that. I'm a little bit concerned. If we don't start to pull in like some real volumes of food, things are going to get bad. And I'm talking about like 8 stacks, like out of one building and whatnot. So he's going to drop off 2. That puts us at 18, but we did get 2 more ammo. It looks like they found a little bit of food inside of there and a little bit of ammo. So, like, we may pull this together, in all honesty. We haven't found any guns or any firearms yet. Finding some guns and firearms would be really, really good. You guys, go ahead and... Are you guys stuck inside the building? Every now and again, these guys get stuck inside buildings. And I notice it happens because the little track line that says where they're going disappears. You can fix it by clicking on another building, and then they can glitch through the walls and get out. But anyways, the pathfinding in this game, very, very rough right now. The collision planes and things like that, also a little bit rough when it comes to the nav meshes. You are going to run into bugs in the current build with people getting stuck inside buildings and things. It's all fixable, but until you figure out those workarounds that fix it, that could be a little tiny bit of a headache. And down goes the sun. Good night, sun. I shall see you on the morrow. I'm going to have these guys camp right here and get ready to blast these fools when they come out of the house. Here, you guys unglitch yourselves. There you go. And you are also going to come down here because these guys are absolutely 100% going to come out of this building at some point. And I expect you to murder them in the face with Berettas, with Mac 11s, just brap, 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 brap. Just like, I'm not going in that building. Another one down south. Sir, it's almost nightfall and we can see infested coming out of their lairs.
Get ready to defend the zone.
I can see infested just getting obliterated by my 9mm Hellstorm over here. That's what I see. All right, you guys get back to searching buildings. We've got actually like a really advantageous position on the map because these buildings do not take long to loot. And so even though we're only getting like a small trickle of resources from them, we've got very, very dense housing. You guys go ahead and set up over here because that's actually like a horde that's on the attack path. So like some hordes like wander and some hordes are like actively here to attack you. Yeah, you guys break off. We're going to need to kite. So take them down the road. Okay, they killed him off. Every now and again, you can kind of like turn one squad into a MacGuffin to be chased and to be like harassed. And then like the other squad just kind of sits there and shoots at him. It's not a bad idea to employ some level of kiting here. Yeah, you guys all open fire about as soon as possible. Ammo reserves are getting a little bit low. You guys go reload at base real fast. Like, everybody's kind of on half ammo. They're going to keep us on our tippy toes tonight. We're going to get attacked quite a bit. But the wandering hordes shouldn't be an issue. It should just be the ones that are kind of fortified and ready to come after us. All right. It appears as though I picked a bad building. Yeah, that's another attack path horde, so you guys kind of get back over here and wait for them to get to the wall. That's why I built it, is because we had a significant blind corner right there that had me worried. Yep, if you guys could start zapping the second they come around the corner, I think we'll be good from the amassed fire. Okay, it's getting to be about 2 in the morning. I would like to get back to scavenging, but I just don't know what they're going to send at me right now, and I don't want to lose any of my buildings at the moment. The good news is we can grab these other little buildings over here to be workshops and whatnot a little bit later on in the game. So, oh, they found, look at that, you found an assault rifle. Look at you over here. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I knew they could swap out different weapons and whatnot, but an assault rifle's dope, dude. We got some of that, like, we should be able to put some serious... We found some seeds in one of the buildings. It looks like grain. There were some farming tools as well.
Okay, bring that in.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Wait, who found that? Was it the guy that found the AK-47? Guy found the AK-47 and hasn't been in society for a long time and thought it just was like a farming implement. Like, I found some kind of seed gun. I put the seeds inside of it and shoot them at the ground. One extra food. Just keep going building to building. I do hope that they add the ability to tear down buildings as well. I don't know if there is the ability to tear down buildings right now, but I would love to be able to tear down buildings and get them out of the way and actually get some resources and stuff back too. All right, so we can now build fields, and I do highly recommend that we make these. We need to decide where the fields are going to go, though. They have to be placed on grass, which makes this a little bit more tricky. Maybe something like that right there. And then we're going to need to have a cookhouse. And so we have to pick up an abandoned building and convert it. I would say maybe one of these just little row houses over here to be a cookhouse. Sounds good to me. We're going to have to kind of like distribute our labor after this too. But we need to get some food growing. Otherwise, we're going to starve. Because this map has not been great for supplying us with goodies. So we've got like 15 people chopping over there. We've got people milling around building farms. So that's a good start. We should have enough food to last the day. They found a food inside of there too. And hopefully once the farming starts, we'll start getting some raw food and then we can make it into cooked meals. Actually, looks like construction's going to take a considerable amount of time on these farm fields anyways. And then we're going to need to wall it off and protect it from zombies as well. Maybe with some guard towers or something like that. Oh, wow, they found a bunch of stuff in there. Hell yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. This building right here was doing that lifting weight thing that I've been talking about. You guys go drop the AK off. I don't know if anybody will actually... I don't know if anybody will actually swap it out and make it their main equip when they come back to base. Billy Johnson, unfortunately, is quite mangled right now. Oh, they found another pistol, too. Actually, you guys go grab the remainder of the stuff that's inside that building so that we don't have to make multiple trips back to base. There we go. Did anybody swap in the AK? How do I make them swap in an AK? Maybe I can use the AK for building a tower or something. I don't know. Might work out. You guys come back over and grab that ammo real fast. It's still 10 in the morning, so we've still got some time to play with here. I don't know if it's worth it to search those residences over there. If there's another big building around, I wouldn't be against searching it. We're getting kind of like deep into this area, though. We're definitely getting a little bit deeper into this area. I don't even know if the farms are going to be built by the end of the day. They might be. Maybe. Go hit that big building. I'm curious. This is your new project. Hit that big building. I want to see if we can pull something rad out of it. Maybe I can build a tower, and in building a tower, I can give the AK to the guy in the tower, so he can just be like, and just kind of like unload on people. We'll use this little building right here, maybe as a workshop or a storage, possibly. You guys stuck on the farm? Man, pathfinding in this game, dude. It's absolutely brutal. The developers did warn me in the email when they sent it over. They were like, we're working on pathfinding right now, but just like fair warning, pathfinding can be a little bit crazy right now in the current build. So I'm glad they warned me because like there's definitely some pathfinding things going on. All right, so we have the farm right there is done. We already have 3 workers on top of it. Very nice. Takes 10 hours to produce 1 food. Okay, good to know. How long is this going to take? That's 5,000 square meters. Probably not going to be done searching that building for a little while, would be my estimate. Oh, you guys found a food. Yay. Anything that keeps us running for another day until until the farms hit full swing. I don't know how many meals we get out of this cookhouse. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I got to get back to like tower defense mode here as the sun goes down. I don't want to have too many people like widely isolated either. It looks like he just heals over time. So it looks like every day he gets like 20 HP back.
Ready for action. Building clear. We're ready.
I mean, 3 food. Not bad. I'll take it. That buys us another day to let the farm spin up. And at this point, we're playing the entire game on our heels because it has not been generous with food this time around. I made one where I was playing in San Francisco around Telegraph Hill, and that time around I was swimming in food, so I had like 60 food sitting around. I never even had to make farming. Like, I died from zombie invasions just because like every single building on Telegraph Hill is flagged as like a supermarket for some reason. And so I was just like swimming in cans of food. Like, I couldn't even gather it all fast enough. I had so much. All right, you guys go ahead and pull back to base over here to defend things.
We're on the move. On my way.
They've dropped off their food.
Going there. On my way.
Let's go ahead and get these guys out. It's really annoying that they get stuck in the headquarters every time they go in, and then I got to click on another building to, like, glitch them through the walls. All right.
On your Roger.
You guys just hang tight. There's nothing you can you can scavenge that somewhat safely. So scavenge that little house right there, and I'll decide whether or not I want to make it a storage building or what I want to do with it.
Clear.
Nothing in there, huh?
We're on the move.
Got 3 farms up. Good, 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 good. Honestly, kind of a quiet night so far. Not a whole lot going on. I probably just jinxed myself because now we've got a big horde that may be headed towards the base. We'll see if they take the left turn over there.
Clear.
They did not take the left turn, but that's actually kind of worse.
Building clear.
You guys fall back to the end of the road so that you've got a long sight line. We'll open fire when they clear that corner.
Reporting. Reporting. Kill. Reporting. For the zone.
Open fire. Infection cleared indeed. You guys get back to it, because we're still very, very light on food. I know I've said that about 1,000,000 trillion times during this run. But, oh, we got a big one coming in from the south. Christ. Okay, get back over here. It's okay. They can chew on the buildings for a little bit before the building, like, explodes and falls over. But we are probably going to want to have... I'm glad I built that wall. I'll tell you that right now. Open fire on them. I don't know if we're going to have the ammo for 2 back-to-back hordes. 3 back-to-back hordes. A little tiny bit concerning. Just on the ammo usage front. They definitely need to get line of sight. They just glitched through my walls. Perfect. All right. Everybody back to HQ to reload. That's your only job for right now. You guys are all running. I can hear your magazines rattling. There we go. All right. Everybody's all nice and reloaded. I do hope they add a rubber bandbox as well, because you can't grab all these squads in any like reasonable way. Actually, these hordes might not be interested in us. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. But yeah, this is infection-free zone. We're kind of getting towards the end of the video right now. I appreciate you guys hanging out for a little while to check the game on out with me. I think the game is super sick. It's definitely pre-alpha, you know what I mean? Like, there's like pathfinding issues, and there's lots of quality of life things I'd like to see here. We don't have access to the research menu yet. We don't have access to the laws menu yet, and we don't know how like inspired by sort of like Frostpunk that's going to be. But as of right now, this is a very promising, appealing idea because it ties fantasy into the world of the real in a very, very, I think, quantifiable way for most players. Like, I can play this game in my home, you know, and I can defend my city from zombies. That's a really cool idea, in my opinion. Like, that gives the player a sense of concern about what's transpiring in the game, where it gives them a connection on a very, very real level. Like, I don't think any of us wants our city to fall to the undead hordes were that to happen, you know what I mean? And so it like ties you into the game. It makes you want to win because you're not playing with generic NPCs here. You're like playing with people from your hometown, you know? And I think that's actually a very, very powerful hook that I'm not quite sure any other game has ever really tried to capture. But my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were checking back in on Infection Free Zone, which has a new alpha that the developers sent over for perusal. Hopefully, guys, you liked it. Hopefully, it was appealing. Hopefully, I was not, you know, trying to sell something that nobody was interested in to people. Hopefully, you dig it. I will catch you all later. And that's about all I've got. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, folks.